Hello, this is a tutorial for signing up to Yuletide in 2014. First, you'll need to log in at the Archive of Our Own. If you don't already have an account here, you can get an invite. These are issued pretty quickly, but if it's late in the sign-up process, you can also ask the mods for an account invitation code. However, I do have an account, so I'll use that. Now I'm signed in and I'm back at the page for Yuletide for this year. That's archiveofourown.org/collections/Yuletide 2014, and I'm at the profile page, which has /profile added to the end. Since I'm signed in, I can see the sign up form in the left menu. The first part of the sign up form that I fill out is the requests. I have 5 requests to fill out, but you can request as few as 3 fandoms or as many as 6. We'll go through my requests and I'll explain what I'm doing as I go. So I'll type the first fandom. You'll notice it auto-completes. Most fandoms and characters will auto-complete from the Yuletide tag set. Sometimes they won't. In that case, it's a good idea to check the tag set. I've got it up here. It's at archiveofourown.org/tag_sets/479. You can also find the tag set linked in the Yuletide 2014 profile page. I'm going to check that Keys of the Cat is where it should be in books and literature. Happily, it is with 3 characters. Now, I'd be happy with a story about any of those 3 characters. So instead of filling in any of these 3 in the character field, I'm going to leave it blank. That means that if someone offers Keys of the Cat, they can match to me whatever character combination they offer, and they can write any of those characters for me, 1, 2, or 3 of them. I've already written a Dear Author letter, so I'm going to put the link in the field. Dear Author letters are completely optional. They're kind of a fun tradition in Yuletide, but you can also give your prompt just as easily by putting it in this box and nowhere else. I like letters because I like rabbiting on about my canons. Don't feel the pressure to write one if you haven't before, or you don't like rambling on about your canons. What I do, and again this is just how I do prompts, there are heaps of good ways to do them, is I like to have a paragraph in my letter for each of my canons that sums up the core of what I want in a story. So if that was the only thing my author read, that would be okay. One thing I'll just mention about any characters, they don't mean any that appear in canon. So you saw I had 3 characters nominated for Keys of the Cat. There is also a giant in this story. But if I wrote a prompt here that said entirely, tell me a story about the giant, I don't want to hear about anyone else, that would be considered kind of not cool. Any means any in the set. So I'm happy with that request for now. So I will go on to my second request. Now notice that there are several options here. If I accidentally click the one I don't mean, then I can easily click this little X to get rid of it again. Oops. Okay. Now for this fandom, I want specific characters. In the tag set are Aurora, Maleficent, and Philip. I just want Aurora and Maleficent. What this means, having chosen them, is that if someone offered Maleficent and Philip in this canon, they couldn't match to me. I mean, they can come along later and write me a treat, but they cannot be assigned to me as my writer. And I'm going to put in the same letter link, and I'm going to go back to my letter and grab that key paragraph that I use. Okay, and my third request. I'll just make a note that the order in which I enter my requests has absolutely no effect on matching. The system can't tell if you give any priority to one canon over another, so we kind of prefer that you don't. After all, your author could be matched on any of these, and it's not a great feeling to come to your author's prompts and realise that what they might be writing for you is a thing you wanted least. Again, I'm happy with any of the characters from the tag set in my story. You might wonder why I don't just list them. The reason is if I did put them all there, anyone who offered Chalice would have to have offered every single one of these characters, or to have offered any, in order to match with me. Again, by specifying 0 characters, I could be matched to by someone who's offered just Mirasol and Talisman, or just Talisman and Liatmir, or just Clearseer and Talisman, any combination at all. And I'm happy with that. I think any story about any 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of these characters would be really cool. Now, I've filled out the minimum number of requests. I personally would like 2 more options, but if you just have 3 requests you want, you could continue to offers here. Here I only want 1 character. That means that someone has to offer her in order to be matched to me in this canon. And I'm going to add a 5th request. And the thing you notice about this particular canon is that there were no characters nominated for it in the tag set at all. So I can't specify any when I'm asking for them, and you can't specify any when you offer them. But that's okay, I just want you to explore this song. I'll just make a note, I've been using the autocomplete method to fill in my fandoms and characters, but if the autocomplete isn't working for you for some reason, you can also click on the list. That's opening for me in a new tab, and it's got the fandoms bunched up alphabetically. So in this case, I'd be looking for I Feel Possessed, which will be down under Howl, it looks like. There we go. And so that's a quick way you can check the spelling of a canon, but as you'll see, the characters aren't listed here, so it's also useful just to have the tag set handy. Okay. But at least this way, I know that I'm spelling this fandom the way it is in the tag set, which is very, very important for matching. Okay, offers. Now, I've filled in my own requests so far. For the purposes of anonymity, I am going to pick offers completely at random. You can be assured that I am not actually offering them. I have absolutely no idea what blackjack is, but according to the autocomplete, there are 5 characters in it, so I will offer 2 of them. Just be wary though, because when the autocomplete does miss out of a character and you offer any, you could actually be offering to write a character you didn't even know was there. So I'll just double check. Yep, 5 characters. Okay, good to be sure. We're going to ignore the optional tags field for now. The only way to use it in a Yuletide sign-up is for a bucket list, which is kind of Yuletide offers advanced mode. The key thing to remember at the moment is that you can't use this field to put in something like angst or tentacles just because you're hoping to write those, because the matching isn't going to run on that and the mods may not even see it. It can be used this way in other exchanges. We don't use it for Yuletide. I'll just enter in random letters again. And here I can click any character. I mean, right now I don't even know which characters are nominated for Hornblower, so I'll check that. Okay. And there are 5 characters nominated in Hornblower TV. That means that by offering any, I could be asked to write any combination of those. The only thing that isn't possible is to have to write out all 5 of them, because people have a maximum of requesting 4 characters per fandom. And let's throw in something else. It is not, by the way, a good idea to offer any for a fandom you do not know. Now, I've made my 6th offer a bucket list, so here's how we set it up. So what I do next is start typing fandoms in the optional tags field. Now I have to be careful here, because if I start typing, I'm getting all of the archives tags, not just the 2014 Yuletide tag sets tags. So here is a good time to go right back to the tag set, or to open up the list of fandoms and copy fandoms I want to include directly from there, separated by commas. You can keep going. Add pretty much as many as you like. The only thing to remember is that for any canon you put in a bucket list like this, you are promising to write any character. So check the character list before you put a fandom in your bucket list. Alright. Okay, now that I've successfully created a sign-up form, I'm going to break it in a couple of ways so that you know what's happening when you get a few error messages. Here's one thing I've noticed. At the moment, because of some tweaking, I have exactly 4 offers, and I'm going to choose to add another offer. Then I'm going to change my mind. I don't actually want to offer 5 canons. So, I'm going to click remove. It won't let me. I know that's wrong because we set the minimum number of offers at 4. So I shouldn't have to fill out a 5th offer. But if I go down to the bottom of the form again and press update, the archive will accept my form with just the 4 if I haven't filled out offer 5. So if you run across that problem, don't worry, 4 is the minimum number of offers. Alright. Here are some other obvious ways of breaking your Yuletide form. You'll notice that most of the plain text fields allow lots of input, not just the autocomplete tags. So, I have thrown a character who does not belong in Keys of the Cat into Keys of the Cat. I get some errors. There were some problems with the submission. Please correct mistakes below. That's your standard message. And we couldn't save this challenge sign up because the character tags in your request are not allowed in this challenge. Boop. And it shows me the message where it applies to the right request. Okay, well, Boop's probably not a character in the whole tag set. How about a character who is? Here I've thrown my Dragon Riders of Pern character into the Keyser canon, just to see what happens. Interesting. It accepts that. However, that's really not going to help me match in my Keys of the Cat canon. This also shows the importance of looking in the tag set and copying the spelling used for the characters within each fandom. If you use a character as he or she is spelt in one fandom, in a different fandom, you may not be matchable. So please check which disambiguation tags are being used for each one. Alright, let's look at breaking the form in a couple of slightly more ordinary ways. I'm going to add a character in my author letter link, and then I'm going to go down to my offers. Let's see. Alright. This will give me an error message because my request URL isn't a valid URL. I'll just change that back. It's trying to make it one, but failed. Alright. And further down, looking for the red message, I have character tags, but any tags, which conflict. I'll get rid of any. Aha, I've created another error. I've created an error by choosing only one character in a fandom for my offers. I can do that in my requests, but for offers I need to offer a minimum of 2 characters. So I'll change it back to any. That's also the way that I would offer characters in a fandom where only one was nominated. Just click any. You'll notice I've filled in a bucket offer here with one fandom, no characters filled in, any characters ticked, and several fandoms listed one by one. Those were separated by commas. If I type several fandoms in a row with nothing to separate them, it probably won't make the form error out, but I won't have any possibility of matching on them. Another way to break a bucket list that the form will accept is by putting characters in here. Don't specify characters in your bucket list. And look at how badly I've broken my bucket list. It's great. So I will take out that incorrect tag, and I will take out those characters. Here's one last way of breaking the bucket, breaking any of your requests and offers. Don't use semicolons or asterisks. These characters will not be accepted as part of a label. Sorry, if they belong in your character set, we're going to have to work around them. Similarly, commas are used only to separate things out. So you're going to need to enter your character or fandom labels without using commas. In this case, since they're already nominated for the Yuletide tag set, just copy the way they appear in the tag set. Alright, I think I've cleared out all the current errors in my offers and requests. Great, it's happy. So I'll show you two more things. One is that you can edit each of your prompts individually. So that works for both requests and offers. It's particularly useful if you just want to switch your bucket offer around. And it will give you only that prompt in a window. Okay, here's one more thing we can't do with the Yuletide form at the moment. I asked for Dragon Riders of Pern above, and I've only asked for Ocarina here. It might make sense to ask for Dragon Riders of Pern again with a different character who appears in a different time to Ocarina, because I can technically ask for them together, but it's less likely a single author would offer both at once. And if I ask for both together, my author has to offer both in order to match with me. However, we haven't set up the form to allow people to request the same fandom multiple times, for various reasons. So that too will throw up an error message. Ah well, I will get rid of it again. And lastly, you can access your sign up from more than just the Yuletide Collections page. You can also go to your personal section of the Archive of Our Own and click on My Sign-ups, where you'll see your Yuletide 2014 sign-up at the very top of the list. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please post comments. Enjoy Yuletide.